What I have found working with online students is that many of them are trying to take this class and do it as quickly as possible. And so they only want to focus on the work that gets graded. And studying, a lot of the studying that you do doesn't get graded. Things like homework, students will go straight to the homework, or they'll go straight to take a test because they know those are the things they're going to get graded. But it's not the most effective way to study. And what I want to do is just take a moment to show you what I have found to be an effective way to study for this type of online course. When you begin a section, you're going to go to the do homework portion, and we're going to go ahead and start with chapter 4 because chapters 1 through 3 are pretty much review material, things that you should have learned in 09-2. So every time you begin a new section, you're going to go to the section that you're going to study and click on the Read and Interact. This will take you directly to the ebook, and that's where your learning takes place. It's not the homework, and it's not the tests or the quizzes. It's the ebook where everything is presented to you in a meaningful way. So when you're viewing your ebook, you should always have your student guided notebook open so you can take notes while you're reading the ebook. You'll notice that when you open up the section, the first thing you're going to see is things that you need to know for this section. And so for a lot of students, they may want to go through and review these objectives. Turn the page and you'll notice over here in our notebook, this is where you're going to be recording your notes. First thing, what are the things that you need to know? And then down below it says section 4.1 objective 1, simplifying exponential expressions. So we can either click on these objectives directly or we can just turn the page. And like I said, this is where you're going to do your actual learning. And you'll notice that the important concepts that you need to be focusing on are highlighted. So you can click on these if you don't know what they are. In this section here, we're talking about how to write expressions using exponential form. You have your base, which could be a numeric term or a variable, and you have your exponent. Go through and read all of this material. You're gonna discover things that you may not have otherwise. Over here in our notebook it says write down the product rule for exponents. So when we turn the page, we're going to find the product rule for exponents, which basically is saying that if you have two exponential terms that you're multiplying together, the bases are the same, all you need to do is add the exponents. We'll go ahead and write down in our notes the product rule of exponents. A to the m times a to the n is equal to a to the m plus n. That's what you can record in your notes. And then in your notes it says, what's the caution statement? And the reason that we include these in your notes is because these are questions that students often have, and these are problems that they often make mistakes in. If you scroll down, you'll notice this caution statement. When no exponent is written, then we assume the exponent to be 1. And so, again, you don't need to be elaborate when you're doing your note-taking. Just record something that will be meaningful for you. So in this instance, you might write y is the same thing as y raised to the first power. And then as you continue working through your notebook, there's some examples. So we've selected just a few examples of a subset of the problems that are in your ebook. So just go through and just work these out. Negative x squared, x to the fourth would be negative x. Add your exponents together. That's going to be to the 6th power. Next problem, 12. Add your exponents together, x to the 6th, y to the 6th. Finally, you're going to have a 6, b to the 9th, c to the 8th. Again, we find another caution statement. So we'll go and we'll find that caution statement. 2 to the second times 2 to the third, you're going to add your exponents. Don't multiply your bases together. So do not multiply bases. And then the last question here is write down the quotient rule for exponents. And basically for that, when you're dividing, just like when you're multiplying, you add your exponents. When you're dividing, you subtract your exponents. So the rule, or whatever you want to write down here, you might just record a to the m over a to the n is equal to a to the m minus n. So that's just kind of an example, a demonstration of how each of you should be engaged in your learning, reading your ebook, and then accompanying that with your notes. And then once you finish that, then you should go on and proceed to do your homework. When you have finished taking notes for the entire chapter, in this case we're looking at chapter 4, and we're done with all of the sections, then you're ready to take the notebook quiz. And these quizzes are designed to give you credit for actually sitting down and taking these notes. Just click on the quizzes and tests link, and you'll notice that these notebook quizzes, they're already up here ready for you to go. The other thing that you need to notice is that you're only given 15 minutes. We're not giving you time to think of these things, to think of the answers. We're giving you just enough time to copy the answers that you had recorded in your notebook. If you've done your notebook and you've written all the answers, then all you're doing is transcribing things from your notebook straight into the answers. So we'll click on the notebook quiz for chapter 4. I'm ready to start. And what you're going to find is all of the questions are listed right up front. Next to each question is, we've even provided you with the page number of where you can find the answer. So for example, in section 4.1, write down the zero power rule. So what we'd like you to do is number your responses 1 through 8, go straight to your notebook, and write down what you have written in your notebook. So what's the zero power rule? Well, a raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. And then you can go on and answer question number 2. Question number 2 in section 4.1. Write your answer to example 8C as found on page 81. So really, you shouldn't be spending any time working these problems out. They should already be completed, and all you're doing is just copying straight from your notebook right into the answers, and it should take you less than 10 minutes. We're giving you 15. It should take you less than 10 minutes. You'll notice right up here there's a little clock counting down, and then I, your instructor, will go through and I'll grade these notebook quizzes by hand and give you credit for those. I do hope that this presentation helps you become a better student with regard to organizing your work, note-taking, and just learning this material in a meaningful way.